congratulations on Honesty Weekend. I'm not sure if honesty is the best policy ever. Sabina, you've been married a short time now, and congratulations on that. Do you find honesty is a hindrance, or is it a plus in a marriage?
I think 100% honesty serves nobody good. um, I understand the importance of it on the big things, but some things are just like meant to be private. I don't know that they deserve a white lie, but maybe they just shouldn't be shared, right? Like I don't know that they deserve like a fib, but maybe just silence.
Dioni, how about you?
It depends on the subject. I feel, and how you approach it, and when you're honest. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm not married, so I don't know.
Yeah, but are you totally honest with your friends and the people around you, or do you find you gotta kind of, I don't know, sugarcoat some things?
Yeah, actually, with my friends, especially friends and family. Yeah, it's when you meet people that you don't know that for that long of a period of time, you tend to like feel things out. Like, oh.
Leslie, how about you? Is honesty 100% honesty? Is that achievable even?
Is it achievable? I don't know. Humans, man. Humans are tough. I don't know if it's achievable. I tend to be very honest and just blurt stuff out, and like I'm a little too honest. I'm like that kind of person. So I'd say like in my own life, I've got like a 95% honesty rate, probably.
Wow.
That's good.
Well, it's hard for me to lie, or even just omit or withhold. You know, you can read it all over my face.
Myself, I'm just terrible at it because I have a bad memory, and so you have to keep track of everything. So,
excellent point.
But I think you could tell the truth. It's just how you tell it. I mean, you know, there's also a meanness to some people about when they tell the truth, and we can always be kinder, I think.
You know, that's a good point. Honesty can be said in a kind way, which is we talk about in this movie. Kindness is key is one of the lines in the film, and honesty can be brutal. Yeah.
Sabina and Dioni, this is an actor's question. You know, when you're dealing with comedy and on a small set and all of that, how timing is really crucial in comedy. Are you listening to the gaffers and grips and people around you as they laugh, or do you really feel when something is working?
Dioni, you want to go first?
I feel sometimes, yeah, you get it. I mean, it's different than because I come from theater, so you get that immediate response. And on set, sometimes you can hear it, the laughter, and sometimes you don't hear it until after we're done with the take. But I think with comedy, it is about timing and just kind of trusting who you're bouncing off of and playing with. And when it works, it works. And when it doesn't, you get another take, which is great.
Well, yeah, it's a movie. Sabina?
I think, you know, it is always nice when you're feeding off of other people's energy. And it is tough when you're doing a film because everyone's quiet and making sure not to laugh over your lines for consistency. I feel like I didn't have a lot. My particular character, I love comedy and goofiness and silly and quirkiness. My particular character, I feel like didn't have as much room as everyone else maybe did to have, you know, I was sort of like the straight man. I was more serious than anyone really. But I think we got a really talented bunch that just understood how finite and how simple you can be with comedy and how little choices can get such a big reaction and not really trying. I think everyone was so really honed in on their comedic timing in this film. I think it was just a really talented bunch.
Leslie, what was the audition process like for this? Because everybody seemed to fill a certain need in this group and finding those pieces to this puzzle must have been You must have been pulling your hair out.
I was pulling my hair out. I was super, super particular about casting this movie because I needed everybody to be real. Because the thing about the way it was written is it was written in a very relatable, down-to-earth, real way. And if I didn't feel like people could work together and have chemistry and share who they were as people, it wouldn't work. And so I was really picky, and my casting directors hated me for a while. But like, I just kept pushing for the actors that I knew could bring it. And every single one of them had a vulnerability and a truth and like a joy about life and a fearlessness. And that's what I was looking for, man. So thank you for noticing that.
Well, I do notice
really
those
proud.
things because it carries through into the film. When you have actors that are joyous and are exuberant about being in anything that is of quality, I think it really kind of transfers to the audience. We pick up that vibe.
Thank you for seeing that. Yeah, I feel like that they were all having such fun on set that in the movie, when you watch these group scenes, it feels infectious. It feels like you're at a party with these people and that you're hanging out for a weekend, and it's such a good feeling. And I'm really proud of that.
And you should be. Dioni, we're going to go back to your theater upbringing and all of that, because I am also from theater, and there is such a different muscle you use in cinema and television and in theater. I mean, it's you're playing to the back of the theater, when you're live, and then you're paying, to the camera. So is it hard to switch those muscles?
It isn't. Once you get, I feel like when you go back to theater, you kind of, you settle in to the 8 shows a week, and it kicks your butt at first when you haven't done it in a while. And it just kind of comes naturally. I think a lot of theater actors have a transition time for film and TV because playing everything is so intimate.
Yeah.
And but a lot of people are getting used to that. I mean, when I first moved out here, it was something that I had to get used to. I will say, as far as like the comedy stuff, I want to give props to Leslie for allowing us to play. That's one of the things. That's why it was so great. She'd say, just have fun, and that's it's a testament to her direction and allowing us to play. And it was like summer camp, actually.
Which is the name of the next movie, by the way. Sabina, you being a model also come from a live kind of performance art that, the unexpected is always expected. How does that inform you as an actress, your past as a model?
Great questions, by the way. These are fantastic questions. Well, I'm also from New York. And so I actually did theater in New York too. So to the points that you were making, I think that was something that I hate watching my stuff, by the way. I hate watching the things that I'm in, but I've really needed to start doing that because I think that I needed to, I studied in New York. I studied with Bill Esper. But it is very Meisner related and working off of one another and really hearing what the other person is saying and then responding to authentically what you're hearing. And with modeling, I feel like it's a lot of that too, because if you're working with other models, you're kind of working off of their chemistry and everything. But I think the comparison to theater is maybe a little bit something that I kind of had to hone in because I was listening so largely. I realized when I first started doing my film and TV after being in New York, I was listening like with just wide eyes rather than just really listening with just this intimacy. It took me a minute of my own observations to be like, oh shit, that was too big.
Yeah.
Too big.
I appreciate when a director will let you kind of riff a little bit and because I think it brings a fuller character. Not every director trusts the actors like that. So Leslie, how do you, you're in control, obviously, and you've got a friendship going with all of these people. Is it a little bit of a step out for you to let the actors, go ahead and experiment?
It's my number one tool, honestly. I trust that the script is there. I trust that the story's there. Let's get the take down where we've done what was in the script, and then let's go nuts. Because that's where the juice is. That's where the energy kind of goes crazy and finds its own outlet, you know, in a scene. And that's part of the casting, was like, I wanted to cast people that I could play with and trust them. It's all based on trust. I mean, my background is unscripted and reality television. And so like I've worked with people for, you know, 15 years without a script, but made scenes out of it. So, you know, but I also have a background in playwriting, which is very script based. So just like give them the spine and let them go nuts, you know, but they've got to be there. They've got to be there.
Working at the Food Network for as long as you did, I mean, there must be so many stories, but that's all in your tool belt too, because acting is acting, I think, even when it's reality acting.
Absolutely. It's communicating what's going on in a compelling way. And that is, you know, that happens with a script or without a script.
As a teacher, and I have students that I deal with and all of that, I looked at Honesty Weekend and I felt so kind of immersed in there's a Shakespearean comedy going on here. You know, getting back to theater. It's like 12th Night is like, you know, everybody but Puck is in it. It really plays on so many levels.
Thank you for that. When we were shooting, I kept saying it's a play in a house. You know, it felt, but we were all over that property and we were getting nuts with everything. Thank you for saying that. I really, I love those ensemble comedies where the characters are distinct and the story is clear and then everybody can relate.
Dioni, your character seems to be multi-layered. How do you approach something like that? Because you're giving the audience a piece at a time, and we're discovering as the play progresses, we're discovering more and more about it. Is it hard to hold back?
Actually, Leslie was really helpful in that regard, just to, you know, track what's happening with the scenes and the arc of the movie. And I mean, she gave me so much to how to play things and show a little bit of each layer as it went forward. The movie went forward.
It's the lag. It's the lag that happens. So sometimes we over chat on each other, and it's just
silence.
Trying to be present with one another.
I can't deal with silence at all. Sabina, you mentioned that you were kind of in the straight man role, but the timing that you have in this film is beautiful. You really, you know, straight man is a glorious place to be in a comedy, because everything seems to bounce. You're the audience. You're
Totally.
reflecting what the audience is.
Totally, absolutely. Yeah, it's funny. Amy Schumer and I we studied acting together. And so she's always kind of had my back, kind of putting me in things with her. But let's be honest, anything I'm doing with Amy Schumer, I am certainly not, you know, the jokes are landing on me, but I just love being a part of this. And the comedy, I was a part of what you said, like I was a part of the viewer's experience, but I think it also is the part that is so relatable to so many.
Leslie, in putting all this together, I mean, you know, are you the type of director that uses storyboard, or do you kind of have a mental image of everything?
I don't use a storyboard. We shot this whole thing in 10 days. I took 2 weeks off of work. And we loaded in on, you know, like on the first day, and we were done by the 14th day. So there was no luxury of any of that prep. I had amazing people with me. I had people that I work with in television. I had my DP, I had my producer, I had my editor, a composer that I fell in love with. Like everybody there was shorthand, and there was a hit the ground running attitude. And all the actors were what was so good is they all just showed up. We greeted them. We're like, here in Topanga Canyon, and hi, welcome. And here's so-and-so and so-and-so, and let's go.
Wow.
Like, that's how it went down.
You know, there's also something, and you as a group, I'll just pass this through, because when we talk about movies, and most interviewers are talking about, you know, your co-stars and how everything goes that way, but you also have to audition this crew, and they were amazing. I mean, I could tell when a crew is gelling, and when you have people that go above and beyond what the expectation is of a grip or a gaffer or whatever. So congratulations on that.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we definitely have shorthand, and we were running and gunning it. And I think we shot 16 scenes in one day.
Ouch.
On the biggest day, because we had to, and we could only do it with people that were just 100% in.
Sabina, what was the catering like?
Oh man, I remember it being. Here's the thing. You always remember two things: when it's really bad, and it wasn't that, or when it's like there's a chef. We didn't have a chef, but it was really good. I mean, it was good. I think I was really blown away because I knew what we were getting into from the very beginning. Like, this was going to be a like passion project of us like coming together with the same vision to create something really special. And I knew catering wasn't going to be glamorous, but it was good. It was good. It was thoughtful. It was thoughtful. I'm a vegetarian, and it was intentional and thoughtful. It wasn't just like a bunch of chips thrown on a table. It was intentional and thoughtful.
And not in bowls, just thrown on the table. I've seen catering like that. Dioni, how about you? Did you enjoy the production part of all of this?
Yeah, I did. There was one particular restaurant we ordered from, and I think I wanted it twice because I thought it was so good. Yeah, no, we were well taken care of. We were taken care of.
Yeah, we certainly were.
So it was better than just pizza and hot dogs. It was.
Oh no, it was good. We got to choose our meals every day, which I think was really thoughtful and great.
Well, with Leslie, you know, being from the Food Network, you would think, you know, she has ties somewhere, some Iron Chef somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't putting up with bad food. Not a chance.
Would you work with this group again?
I have a fantasy of working with these actors again in some capacity, and I don't know what that is, but every last one of them. I love them. I respect them. I think they're amazing. So yes, the answer is yes.
And as a film critic, I would love to see you guys almost become like a troupe. I think you need to now do a crime drama with the same people.
I love that. You know,
and then a science fiction movie with the same people.
There you go. You know, directors that have their core actors that they return to again and again. That's how I feel with these guys.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Leslie, what do you expect audiences to take away once they see Honesty Weekend?
I expect them to laugh and be touched and think. Like, I want them I want it to land on different levels, and I want them to be done with it and have a conversation with a friend or a significant other about some stuff that went down in the movie.
Dioni?
I want them to, be touched and entertained, and because what we're dealing with right now, it's the perfect movie. My brother saw the movie, and he's married, and he said he was laughing, he felt joy, he felt a little triggered because he's married, but he watched it with his wife, and they enjoyed it immensely. So I think I want people to come away thinking about their own lives and how their relationships with their significant others or friends.
Sabina, you have the last word.
Yeah, well, it's hard. I mean, I feel like they've said all these beautiful things, but I couldn't agree more. I think that with this cast, there's a little bit of someone in someone, right? So I think that whatever it is, I think so it's going to resonate with somebody, whether it's the good things, the bad things, the triggers, the happy feelings, there's going to be a little bit of something. So I think to what the point that Dioni made is that it's, there's going to be some happiness and joy and laughter. And then there's going to be some like, oh shit, this hits a little close to home for me.
Well, there you go. And I appreciate your guys' time today. I know that you're all rushing off to do other things, but man, I wish
I
we
don't want
could
you to
have
feel rushed. I feel bad. I've got a little more time. I don't want anyone to feel rushed, but
well,
I'm
let's
very
talk about other
grateful.
things. But no, I really appreciated the film. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was, again, when you have a subject like this and you go, well, there are certain honesties that you don't want to bring up because they're embarrassing or they're revealing, to your soul, and you don't want people to touch that like a bad tooth. You don't want to have anybody touch it. This shows all of that. It really kind of shows the emotions behind lying and why.
I love that. I love that. You're awesome, Tony.
I used
Yeah,
to be.
Tony.
Tony,
used to
you like you can tell like you just like you're so you remind me of like our cast and our amazing Leslie. Like
Aw.
you've come here today with just like a lot of heart and intention, and it's very sweet and appreciated.